If you've recently inherited a house in New York and you're trying to figure out what comes next, probate, taxes, dealing with family, this video walks you through the entire process step by step. We buy inherited homes on Long Island, and we've seen how confusing this process can be for families. So let's break it down. Before you can sell an inherited house in New York, you need legal authority. That starts with probate. Probate is the legal process where the surrogate's court validates the deceased person's will and officially appoints an executor. If there's no will, the court appoints an administrator instead. The executor files the will with the surrogate's court in the county where the deceased lived. On Long Island, that means the Suffolk County Surrogate's Court in Riverhead or the Nassau County Surrogate's Court in Mineola. Once the court validates the will, it issues letters testamentary. This document is your green light. It gives you legal authority to manage the estate and sell property. If everyone agrees and no one contests the will, probate on Long Island typically takes 7 to 12 months. But if family members dispute the will, and with inherited property that's more common than people think, you could be looking at 2 to 3 years. There's also a creditor window. Once the executor is appointed, creditors have 7 months to file claims against the estate. That includes any outstanding mortgage, property taxes, medical bills, or other debts. Those debts get settled before any proceeds are distributed to heirs. Here's the biggest tax advantage most people don't know about when inheriting property. It's called the step-up in basis, and it's under IRC Section 1014. When you inherit a house, the IRS resets the home's cost basis to its fair market value at the date of death, not what the deceased originally paid for it. Here's a real example. Say your parent bought their Suffolk County home in 1985 for $120,000. At the time of their death, it's worth $650,000. If they had sold it while alive, they'd owe capital gains tax on the $530,000 difference. But because you inherited it, your cost basis resets to $650,000. If you sell it for $660,000, your taxable gain is only $10,000. Sell it at or below the stepped-up value, and you owe zero capital gains tax. The critical point: the longer you hold the property after inheriting it, the more it may appreciate above that stepped-up basis. Selling sooner minimizes this risk. New York has its own estate tax separate from the federal one. The 2026 exemption is $7.35 million. If the total estate, all assets, not just the house, falls below that, no estate tax applies. But New York has a brutal feature called the estate tax cliff. If the taxable estate exceeds 105% of the exemption, the entire estate gets taxed, not just the amount over the threshold. For most Long Island families inheriting a single home, you'll fall well below this. But if there are multiple properties or significant other assets, talk to a tax professional. Things get complicated when multiple family members inherit the same property. Everyone has to agree on what to do: sell, keep, or rent. And if one heir wants to sell and another doesn't, you can end up stuck for months. If the family can't agree, any heir can file what's called a partition action. The court orders the property sold and divides the proceeds based on each heir's share. It works, but it adds time and legal fees. This is actually one of the most common reasons families choose a cash buyer. When you sell to an investor, you get a firm offer, a guaranteed closing date, and a clean split of the proceeds. No months of showings, no waiting for buyer financing to fall through, no staging an inherited house that needs work. If you've inherited a house on Long Island and you want to skip the stress, we can help. The Property Father buys inherited homes in any condition, even during probate. No repairs, no commissions, and we close on your timeline. Call us at 5165486558 or visit thepropertyfather.com for a free cash offer. And if this video helped, hit subscribe. We've got more guides for Long Island homeowners coming every week.